Hi, Norman Hallett here with your next 4-minute drill for traders. In this episode, I'd like to wrap up our talk about Singularity University and some of the ideas I came away with that apply to traders. Now, as you recall, I was lectured to for 2 full days by Ray Kurzweil, who many people think is the smartest man in the world, and Peter Diamandis, who founded X Prize Corporation and is the co-founder of Singularity along with Ray Kurzweil. Okay, the last concept I want to share with you is all about knowing what to do and just not doing it, and our need to change that, to turn that around. Peter took some time on the stage talking about where all of our revolutionary technological ideas are coming from. Not so much the fact that there are world-changing ideas growing exponentially right now that'll change the way we do just about everything, but he was talking about where these great new concepts are coming from. Well, they're coming from our youth. I mean men and women between the ages of about 13 and 30. Think of it. Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak were in their early 20s when they put Apple together. Jobs was the marketing arm, and Wozniak was the geek. The young lions who started Facebook and Twitter were just past being kids when they gave birth to their specific concepts. Galileo was 22 years old when the apple fell from the tree and he conceived the thought of gravity. So this has been going on a long time. It's fact. Einstein's theory of relativity happened when Albert was in his 20s, not when he was an old man, on and on and on. Now contrast these facts with this. The National Institute of Health and Sciences gives millions each year in grants to fund discoveries or the research for discoveries. In 1980, only about 10% of this money was awarded to people under 30, less than 10, only about 10%. And by 2006, that number shrank to below 1%. In fact, in 2007, the Institute awarded 10% of its grant money to people over 70 years old, and less than 1% to people who are doing things, who are inventing things and having the good ideas. We know the facts that great discoveries throughout history have been born from young people with no preconceived notions, who think out of the box. And yet, knowing these facts, the National Institute of Health and Sciences gives less than 1% of its grant money to that specific group. And it must be politics, because it certainly doesn't make any sense. And in the exact same way, we know as traders that 90% of us are either struggling to break even, and most of us are losing. And that only 10% win over time, and only a small percent of that 10% win big enough to make a living by trading. It doesn't matter. Good trading system, bad trading system, 90% or more. The numbers say 90+% are losing. At the same time, we know that 90% of the traders spend from 0 to 5 minutes a day doing something to improve their mental and emotional conditioning, to be more disciplined. Does that strike you as odd? It strikes me as crazy. We all know that your mental and emotional fitness are of utmost importance to your trading success, and yet the vast majority of traders are unwilling to do anything at all about it. Their ego is just too big. How about you? Knowing the facts, and I'm not telling you anything new here, are you spending any time at all on your mental conditioning on a daily, consistent basis? Or do you spend all of your time, like most traders do, tweaking your system and drawing more lines on your charts? In the same way that the National Institute of Health and Sciences are opening a blind eye to what they should be doing, for whatever reason, politics or whatever, what they should be doing with their money, they're closing a blind eye to it. Any trader who doesn't take their trading discipline seriously enough to spend at least 20 or 30 minutes on it a day are just as guilty of the same kind of mismanagement. So if you thought that the National Institute was crazy not to be giving money to those people who are proven to come up with most of the good ideas, the young people, and you're paying no attention at the same time to your trading fitness, then really you don't have a leg to stand on. But the good news is that all can change on a dime for you. Take your trading discipline seriously. Whether it's with our firm, thedisciplinetrader.com, and our mastery kit, or take the lead somewhere else, but take the lead. Then watch yourself turn from struggle to success. Okay, that's it for this edition of 4-Minute Drill for Traders. So until next week, stay disciplined.